Hey guys, welcome back. Ashley D. Will here, author, teacher, life coach. I hope everyone is doing well today. So we've looked at the boundary circle exercise, part 1, part 2, and part 3, and this is part 4. Part 4 is on repairing the broken walls. All right, so let's talk about why the walls are so important. If you don't understand why the walls are there, then you won't have any motivation to repair them, right? So let's look at Proverbs 25:28, and it says, "He who has no control over his own spirit is like a city with the walls broken down." Now this part up here, this talking about having control over your spirit, that is someone who uses boundaries. Someone who uses boundaries has control over his own spirit. Someone who doesn't use boundaries does not have control over his own spirit. And so it's talking about a city here, that this person who is not using boundaries, because it says they have no control, that person is like a city, and the city has walls around it that are to protect it all the way around, okay? And those walls are broken down. All right, when you have a city and the walls are broken down, what can happen? Anything. Anything can happen because you have no defenses. You have no protection. Let's look at this little illustration here. Here you are, and here is your hula hoop. This is your sacred space, your territory that God has assigned you and given you stewardship over. Here is the wall around your city, and you are the city right there. You are the city. Here you are, and these are your walls. But now look on this side. There are some issues here, because wherever there's the red squiggly lines, kind of like how we saw in part 3, and I showed you where the walls were broken down and how the enemy was getting in. Well, these squiggly lines are where there is no defense, no barrier, no nothing. And so there's one here, here, and here. And so these spaces are just open to whoever and whatever wants to come in and do whatever they want. This first one here is, maybe it's some person who is a controlling person. They like to be in control, and those type of people are usually trespassers and comes into your hula hoop and does harm to you. Here's another person, a dominant personality. Sometimes those people can really be trespassers. So this dominant personality comes into your hula hoop, your sacred territory, and harms you. Here's another one down here, a person that has low or no empathy. They can often be trespassers. They come into your territory and they do you harm. Do you see how these open doors where there's no defense is allowing and even inviting these types of people to come and hang around and abuse you or trespass against you or whatever they feel like doing? The red spaces here are the broken down walls. They're supposed to be intact all the way around. But it's not intact here, it's not intact here, it's not intact here. It's open. It's like your skin, if it has a big laceration on the skin and the skin is just open. There's no covering on it, there's no Band-Aid, there's no medicine, there's nothing, and it can just absorb all the germs that wherever you walk and someone's sneezing or coughing, and it can just go into that wound. That's what it's like when you don't have walls that are intact all the way around your territory. These walls are broken down in these 3 places, and these places indicated in red are openings for the enemy of your soul to use. Remember, he uses people, right, to kill, steal, and destroy. So back in the Bible days, cities used to have walls all the way around, and these were huge walls that were impenetrable. and they had little guard guys, soldiers up in the north, south, east, west towers watching for the enemies to come over the mountains or wherever they were coming, and they would always be watching for the enemies to prevent the enemies from getting in. So when you have an opening there, just like the laceration on your arm, it's open. There's no defense, and any person that the enemy wants to use can just come in and harm you in some way, or steal from you, or kill your joy, or destroy something that you have been building. See? So you don't want to allow these places in red that are open and unguarded and unprotected. That is an alarm that you should be very concerned about, and you want to learn why those are there, and you want to get them repaired. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some other things. Okay, so let's look first at our city checklist, all right? So a city, and you're the city, remember? A city is designed by God in God's economy to be strong and protected. Why? So that it can be healthy and it can be productive, right? That's what He wants for you. He wants you to be strong and healthy and productive, and to have a life filled with the fruit of the Spirit. So what you want to do is get your city checklist and go over it. Is your city, here's your little checklist, is it strong? Is it protected all the way around? All the way around every little place? Is it protected? Is it healthy? If it's protected, there's a chance for it to grow to be healthy. If it's not protected, it will never grow to be healthy no matter what you do, because you will always be being reviolated. So is it strong? Is it protected? Is it healthy? And finally will come productivity. Your city, your life, your heart will be productive, doing the will of God, when you protect it and allow yourself to get healing, to grow to a place where you can, the Holy Spirit through you can bear fruit. Fruit will be coming from your life. So I'm encouraging you to examine your city. In other words, examine yourself, your life. So what are you going to be looking at when you're examining yourself? You're going to be examining your city to see its true condition, right? So you're going to be asking yourself, where are my walls broken down? Where are they? Let me scan the overview of my life and let me see. Holy Spirit, open my eyes. Let me see where my walls are broken down. I'll tell you where they're going to be broken down. Right here. Wherever there is no defense in relationships. Wherever there is no defense or low defense, your walls will be broken down. That's how to find broken down walls, is where there's no defense in a relationship. This person could just come in, barge into my house, and eat all my food, and tear up everything, and bring muddy shoes into the house, and just take my computer and then just leave. See, that would be a place where you have no defense in the relationship. You're too afraid to say, this is not your house, get out, or call 911, or go get your shotgun, or whatever you need to do. See, there's no defense. So you just let people do whatever they feel like doing. That's where there's going to be walls broken down. That's your evidence, wherever there's no defense, okay? So ask yourself, where am I not defending my sacred space? Holy Spirit, show me where I'm not defending my sacred space. All right? Wherever you fail to defend your sacred space, that's where you are weak. Wherever you fail is where you are weak. All right? Remember, a city, which is you, is to be strong, protected, healthy, so it can be productive. So you're examining it to find out where you have failed to defend your city. It will be something like that, something like that. And this will be a relationship here. A relationship, all right? That's what you're looking for. So you're looking for wherever you fail to defend your sacred space, wherever you fail up there, that's where you're weak in a relationship with a certain type of person. Okay? So you're going to ask the Lord, Lord God, where am I weak? Number one, where? Show me where I'm weak. Number two, I need to know why I'm weak so that I can repair. And I can get strong and then go repair the broken places so I'll be reinforced and I'll have a defense. I'll be able to defend my own territory. So how do you know where you're weak? You will know where you are weak because there will always be pain, confusion, chaos, misery. There will be something yucky there, whatever it would be in your situation. Okay? Say you go to a restaurant with a person maybe once a month, and every time you go to the restaurant, they order their food and you start to order yours, but they interrupt you and they talk over you to the waiter and say, oh, well, he'll have this or she'll have this, and it's not something you want, and you just sit there and let them order for you. And they bring you this food that you don't want, and then you don't really eat much of it, and then you're going Dutch. So they pay for theirs, you pay for yours. And so you're paying for food that you don't want, that you didn't order, that someone else ordered for you, but you're too afraid to say, excuse me, I will order for myself. You're afraid to say that. That's just a silly example, but it's very obvious, right? So, but we do these things in other situations and we don't see it as obvious because maybe it has happened to us our whole lives. So you have to let the Lord open your eyes and highlight things for you where you go, oh, I didn't realize that. Thank you for showing me that. So where are you going to find the weaknesses? Here, where there's pain, confusion, chaos, conflict, a lot of resentment, anything like that. In relationships with people, okay, there's going to be people. That's where you're going to find your weaknesses. And the second one is why. Why am I weak? Well, I'm weak for different reasons, and it can be multiples of these, or maybe just one. But the reason that you're weak in that area, here and here, just like over here and here and here, you're weak because maybe there is a wound that you have that you've had a long time, or maybe it just started in the current relationship that you're having trouble with this person, but it's a wound, and the pain of that wound is so intense or foundational that you feel a little bit paralyzed in the situation. You feel like you can't speak up for yourself. That's one option. Is number one, it can be a wound. And remember, the foundational wounds, I'm not talking about the superficial wound, but if you go down to the root of it, the wound will probably be a base foundation of abandonment or rejection. That's just to help you search easier, give you an easier time searching. So one reason why you may be feeling weak and unable to defend yourself is because of a wound. Those can be very paralyzing. The second one would be because of a myth, or another word for a myth is a lie. It would be a lie that you believe in your heart about protecting yourself. All right? Now, there is a list of lies that are on this channel on the playlist tab. You scroll down to the boundaries class and you go to class number 5. All right, and it will go into all the details of all the different types of lies you can believe. Okay, some will be, I'm selfish if I defend myself. I'm disobedient if I defend myself. I'm afraid I will lose love if I defend or protect myself. I'm afraid I'll hurt other people. It means I'm angry if I defend myself. I'm going to injure other people, or I'm going to be the one injured if I defend myself, or this person has done so much for me that I can't say no to them, or this defense that I'm going to put up to protect myself has to be permanent and can never be changed. Those are some of the lies that you will find that you can sift through and find out the ones that you believe, and then you can exchange the lie for a truth, and then you can be free, more free to protect yourself. So again, go to the the Boundaries playlist on this YouTube channel. Go to the playlist tab, scroll down to the bottom to find the Boundaries class, and it will be class number 5, where it talks about the myths about boundaries, okay? And then it can also be some type of a resistance that is going on. In the resistances, there are resistances to boundaries, resistances to protecting yourself. There are internal resistances that come from our own heart, and there are external resistances that come from outside of us. All right, so you can find all the resistances on this channel. Again, go to the playlist tab and scroll down to the bottom and go to the Boundaries series, and then go to class number 7 in that Boundaries series, class number 7, and it will list and explain to you in a 30-minute format all of these resistances. Some of them can be the internal ones: guilt, blaming others, being afraid of the unknown, having some type of unresolved grief, having a need that hasn't been met. Or the external resistances can be anger, rage, guilt, control, physical threat, or you're afraid that you're going to hurt other people or that they're going to be in pain. Okay? So go to the Boundaries playlist for this one and this one. It's class number 7 for the resistances, class number 5 for the myths, lies. And then also, if you really want to get into boundaries and learn them, there are some audio recordings of John Townsend and Henry Cloud actually teaching this material themselves. And if you go to YouTube and you go to the website called Unseen Perspectives, and on that website you put in boundaries, and you can go through 1 through 8. And remember, it's audio only, so it's just a picture of the Boundaries book the whole time, but you'll hear them talking. And so you can really get into them and go over it as many times as you want on that website, if you like, okay? So this is a look at how to repair the walls that are supposed to be up around you, defending your sacred space, and how to basically repair them. Okay, so we're repairing our broken walls, but first we have to find them, right? So let's just review. The walls of your city should be intact all the way around. Your job is to keep your city protected because you are the city, and God has given this sacred space to you to be a steward of. If you let all the enemies in and wreck everything, you're going to have no fruit, okay? You're not going to be using your talents. So you don't want to do that. That's very foolish and very dangerous. Certain personalities will come in and violate and do ugly things. These are places where your walls are broken down, and it's places where the enemy will use people to come in and harm you. You don't want that to happen. Even if it's happened to you your whole life, it's time to stop it right now, and this video can help you go in that direction. You want, ideally, for your city to be strong, protected, healthy, and productive. So eventually the fruit of all of this teaching is going to be that you're going to have a productive city where the fruit of the Spirit is going to be all over your life if you continue in this. So you're going to examine your city. Where are my walls broken down? They're going to be broken down wherever there's no defense in relationships with people. So where do you not defend your sacred space? Wherever you fail to defend your sacred space is where there's a weakness. And it may not be it may not be broken down, but it might be so weak right here that someone just has to go blow on it and the wall falls down. So it can appear to be strong, but you have to know whether it's strong when someone comes and pushes on it and it doesn't budge. that means it's strong. If someone can push on it and it falls over, then it's not strong. Okay, so first you want to find out where your walls are weak, right? And then why your walls are weak. Where am I weak, Lord? Show me. Why am I weak? Where you are weak, there will be pain, confusion, chaos, resentment, strife, all kinds of bickering and things in relationships with people. That's the first one. And then why are you weak? We just went over those. It's either going to be number one, a wound, number two, a myth, a lie, or it can be a resistance. And it can be actually all of these and all the myths and lies I listed and all the resistances I listed. It could be all of every three, or it could just be one. It could be whatever it is in your case. The Lord will show you. Okay? So this is the last in the boundary circle exercise series, and so this is to help you see where your boundaries are not strong or where your walls are broken down, so that you can patch things up and make things strong, so that you will be defended and protected, so that bullies, when they come in and try to violate you, you push back and you say, no, you can't come in and desecrate what the Lord is doing. All right? So I hope this is helpful. I pray that you guys will embrace boundaries and move toward having a strong, protected, healthy, productive city, because the Lord, this is His will for you, and He will help you do this. All right? So remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you soon.